Observing principles through matters. The initial verse today is through matters we observe causes and conditions and appearances that they give rise to. Obviously, through matters, here the matters refers to the what you call the matters of people, matters, and objects, which are obviously we can refer to have conditions that they arise, but appearance that give rise to, and that's what we need to be mindful of. And through the principles, we observe the Dharma. So on the one side, on the externality of the conditions that we see, and we've got to be very mindful. And what is it that we see? And that we then observe the Dharma that we can apply and consider all phenomena with our true nature. And that's important because the true nature arises that we have, but the true nature obviously is the Buddha nature, but then it's all shrouded with a lot of obscuration and defilements that we have. So we do not really be able to see the truth behind it, but obviously the truth behind that and the phenomena is actually emptiness. So though we can counter the Buddha's compassion and share the same nature and the true Dharma, we have not yet entered the Buddha's true wisdom, the Dharma ocean wondrous enlightenment. So even though when we see this phenomena that we have, and we just see that from the perspective that it is only in emptiness, what is absent is the compassion. And that's the difference between the small and the great vehicle. So our daily living is caught up in matters and appearances, see people, matters, and things with a clear mind. So we consider all phenomena with our true nature. You see, our worldly life is interwoven with our activities. So our activities is a manifestation of our thoughts, which then comes from our understanding. So unless this true nature that we can get down into, we won't be able to clearly understand that phenomena that arises. So that's the reason why we must sincerely, meticulously, and mindfully observe the Dharma in all things in the world. So, and obviously, and when one can do that, we are on the stage towards enlightenment. So the length of one's life depends on oneself. Do not give rise to worries and anxiety. Seize the moment. Have faith. A time will bring everything to fruition. So obviously, our life we have is still relatively short in the perspective of a cow path, but we take in numerous cow paths to be enlightened. Just like the Buddha did, he took 3 great eons before he attained enlightenment. So therefore, what we need to do is to cultivate as much as we can, but we will have to come back in innumerable lifetimes ahead, so that we can purify ourselves to attain this true nature, so that we perfectly understand. When we are in a perfect harmony with all principles, then we have perfect awakening. Quickly put an end to causation and eradicate all afflictions. So that the 4 great disciples, or Subhuti, Kasyayana, Moggallana, and Mahakasyapa, wanting to achieve cessation meant that they were very afraid of creating affinity with sentient beings. So that is a part that this true nature has yet to be fully arisen, although one has eradicated all these afflictions. But they have yet to create that affinities, so they were unable to manifest the great Dharma vehicle. So this in the parable of how it has labored from place to place means they focus only on self-awakening and this delight in unlimited teachings. So there was a practice they engaged in. So in the end, the scope of understanding was limited to that extent. So the lessons learned that the son had arrived at the palace close to where his father lived. This comprehended the Buddha's Bodhimanda. Bodhimanda, it was the place where he attained enlightenment and surpassed enlightenment, which is in Bodh Gaya. This was when the Buddha and the universe became one. They were now drawing near the state of Avatamsaka assembly when the Buddha propounded Avatamsaka Sutra soon after enlightenment. So they did not know the middle way. There is only one door they could enter. And this is the part that you need to understand the Bodhisattva path, that to enter the Buddhahood, we need to enter into the door of Bodhisattvahood. And that Bodhisattvahood is entered through the middle way, not graduating to extreme of emptiness, neither gravitating entirely on just the existence. So one master always say that one middle way is the wondrous existence in true emptiness and the true emptiness in wondrous existence. Because the two vehicle practitioners has already integrated vehicle rules of goodness in the past, but they cultivated few causes. They had not earnestly nourished disease, which means they have not cultivated causes, so they could not yet realize the fruits. So in our life, so let me move to contemplation, and then in the interest of time. So when we transform your view, you transform your destiny. I mean, very often then we go through life, and it's all about fate, it's about destiny. And the same goes in our path of cultivation. Whether how fast one walks is entirely dependent on that particular person. So therefore, the first thing we need to do is transform our view. Just as the Buddha said, our thoughts comes from our understanding. So if we change our understanding, we change our views, and then we can transform our destiny. So you are here in this life from the causes of the past and the condition of the present that manifest. So obviously, we born in this life, we have repetitive karma that we need to handle and we need to accept, we need to purify. But the conditions of the present, they will manifest. These are our becomings of our life. So to do that, we need then understand behind that, what are these conditions mean, what really they are. Much we can easy for us to say they are emptiness, but there are lessons in the condition that we must learn. So as a cultivator, let the contemplative life, live the contemplative life, observing what there is to learn from every moment. So these conditions, like I said, they carry with them the lessons that we need to learn, because these are the lessons of our past, so that we can purify in the present. So whatever they may be, and wherever you may be, whether you migrate anywhere, karma never lose an address. They will follow you. So be the architect of your destiny. And that's what we should do, and not leave everything to fate. So, and let no people, matter, or object seize your destiny. And that's why then we'll be in control of life. Then we'll be on the path that we walk and not deviating from the straight path. So on relationship, so accepting a relationship, live your life uncomplainingly. But more often than not, we got plenty to complain about any relationship. So accept whatever life throws at you, which arises from the convergence of causes and conditions. This is a accept the flow of life. So life flows like a river. So it is a spiritual journey of learning and growth with a script that is written from the past for your discovery. So you got to learn about the script that you have already actually written from the past. So adventure in the present for the uncovery, and the life, this life that you have, is an adventure for you to discover, to uncover, and the true intrinsic nature, which is true nature that within you in the future for your rediscovery. Okay, Kanan, brothers and sisters, thank you.
Yeah, Kanan so much to BrotherChing for the full summary, great insight. Okay, shall we now take our